Yo, what is going on? Hold on, let me get this situated. Okay, yo, what is going on, y'all? It's been a minute. If anyone is still willing to listen to this, thank you so much. I love you. But anyway, it's been a couple months, definitely since we've uploaded an episode. Honestly, I'm gonna take the blame for all of that. Zane was down to do stuff, but I just was taking a break from everything. Like, I wasn't even doing YouTube videos. I've really been focusing on myself and doing like a lot of cardio and just like getting back into guitar. And I feel like I'm ready to come back and just have fun with it. You know, no pressure. Like, we're just chatting. It's not like we're seriously, like, anyone's gonna listen to this and be like, holy shit, they really liked Haikyuu.
Yeah.
I need to watch it.
Unfortunately, our computer also broke down.
Yeah, that's another thing that kind of set us back. Yeah. Really killed my momentum.
And we haven't really gotten around to finding someone who could fix it.
I tried, man. You tried. I even, like, I was putting in command prompts. Like, I felt like a fucking hacker. But obviously I'm not.
Yeah, I was spending, like, all day just going into the like, command prompts in the administrator setting just to, like, some hope fixing it. And I think there might be something, like, worse with it. Like, maybe the drives got all fucked up when it was, like, updating, so... And we live in a small town, so we don't really know too many, like, places or people who could.
I know a couple people have offered, like, bro, what about me? And I'm like, I don't know, man.
Yeah. I mean...
I don't know, man.
I mean, at least we didn't really pay all that much for it in the end.
Yeah. So, I mean,
if we really need... And we didn't really have anything, like, too important on there.
We'll get it fixed soon, no problem. I really want to get into editing on Sony Vegas Pro instead of using KineMaster on my phone. I'm just comfortable with KineMaster, but there's so much versatility with Sony Vegas Pro. Like, why not just get into it? You have it. Just fucking use it, dude.
Yeah, unfortunately, my laptop's a toaster, so I can't really do much on it.
So anyway, in this episode, we are going to be splitting it up by topics. First of all, I wanted to talk about an anime that we watched together. We basically smashed through it in like 3 days, because after we turned it on, we just couldn't stop it. And that may be good or bad, you'll find out. But in the later half of the episode, I want to go over... just kind of the state of anime in general, what we dealt with during the spring season, the summer season, and how do we feel about the fall season. So, the anime that I wanted to talk about that we just caught up to is Golden Kamuy. Now, first off, I want to say shame on all of the AniTubers that I watch. Because I don't recall any of them hyping up Golden Kamuy. I don't remember seeing any videos or really anyone in the community talking about it much. I did see it get mentioned here or there, but I really feel like this is a show that deserved a lot more attention. And we see that with a lot of kind of more mature shows anyway, like Kingdom. Didn't really get much attention in the West, but also... watch the Kingdom anime and you'll understand.
Yeah, I mean, I saw maybe like 1 or 2 mentions of it when it started airing in like 2018. But even after that, I almost never really see anyone really like hyping up Golden Kamuy, or even with the new season that started airing. And it's like nobody's really saying like, "Hey, here's new Golden Kamuy," you know?
Yeah, like. I kind of skipped through Mother's Basement's fall anime like 10 list, and I didn't finish it, but up until the point that I'd gotten to, I didn't see Golden Kamuy on there.
Yeah,
I just don't hear anyone talking about it ever, and it kind of blows my mind because I'm going into it expecting... I don't know what to expect. I thought it was going to be mediocre, honestly, because I hadn't really heard many people talk about it, but it looked like something that I could enjoy. And I was in for a extremely pleasant surprise.
Pleasant's kind of an understatement.
It's amazing. I'm like, no cap, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I was just like beating myself up inside thinking, why did I not start this sooner? You know, it's like, this has just like me written all over it, something that I would just devour and gobble up.
I'm interested in reading the manga now for sure.
Yeah.
Cause we are now, since we caught up, the 3rd season's airing, and we watched the episode that just came out today, October 17th? Is it the 17th?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So, now we're in weekly hell too. We have to wait and watch. I gotta say, it was kind of nice to be able to just binge through the first 2 cores.
Yeah, they're only like 12 episodes each too, so there's not really... It doesn't take like a whole lot to get through.
So the premise of Golden Kamuy is there is a man by the name of the immortal Sugimoto, and he's fucking unkillable. This whole plot to retrieve some stolen Ainu gold, which is like a tribe of like, what would you call it? You could probably describe them better.
They're essentially like the indigenous tribes.
Mountain peoples.
They lived in like the mountain parts, or like Hokkaido up north in Japan. They're essentially similar to like Native Americans in the U.S.
Yeah, I was gonna call them natives. Like, they were the people that were just chilling there before the Chinese came over. Because they're looking for Aisei's cure to not die, and they're like, well, fuck, if we go back to China, we're gonna get murdered, so we're just gonna stay here in Japan. And they suspect that might be how a decent number of people got to Japan, was during the Qin dynasty. But this is based in the 1900s. There is a war hero named the Immortal Sugimoto. He runs across a young Ainu child named, oh my god, why am I blanking on her name? A Sherpa.
Yeah.
A Sherpa, she's super cute, sweet girl. I'll fucking beat your ass if you loot her, though. Don't do that shit, man. That's not okay.
She's 12.
Yeah, she's 12 or some shit like that. But anyway, a big cache of like gold and valuables were stolen from the Ainu, and the only people that like can put together how to get there have a map tattooed on their skin, and they're 24 escaped prisoners from some bigwig prison, and they just kind of make it their mission to get a hold of all the tattoos and find the gold to help the Ainu people out and maybe get a little bit rich. Yeah. But help the Ainu people out. And the show is full of some of the most quirky, ridiculous characters I've ever seen in an anime that are fucking absolutely well written. Like, they're not just dummies with like stupid quirks and like that's all they are. That's all it is to them. There's a lot more to these characters.
Yeah, even like one of the escaped prisoners, Shiraishi, who's basically like the comedic relief.
He's like the 3rd crew member of like the OG squad of Sugimoto, a Sherpa, and then the Scat King, Shiraishi.
The Escape King.
The Scat King.
Yeah, and it's like, even though he is like super fucking funny and he's always like amazing to watch, you still get the sense that he's like still cares a lot for Sugimoto and a Sherpa.
Oh yeah, those are his friends. Like, a lot of people are playing backstabbing and shit, but I think Shiraishi's a real dude.
Yeah, even when he's like kind of like double crossing them for a little bit, he still, they still like trust him enough to like still like keep him around.
Oh yeah, and the just insanity of how the plot weaves all these characters together. Like, that moment when they all come together is so gratifying. Like, you see these people are off on their little solo or duo journeys. They get together. Or, like, characters that you saw once, you're like, oh, well, I mean, that guy's gone, or whatever. Probably not going to see him again, right? No. If you see a character once or twice in Golden Kamuy, I guarantee they're going to be back.
Yeah. It does an amazing job of, like, making every single character just really likable and enjoyable to watch. Even if they're, like, kind of suspicious or do a lot of shitty shit, like...
Or they're terrible. And, like, I love the openings because it depicts these, like, absolutely horrible people, like, wearing human skin and dancing together. And, like it's fun and cute, doing little poses and stuff, like Ogata. Dude, I don't know why. I love Ogata, but he's such a terrible guy.
Yeah.
But I love him. He's the worst.
Yeah, or it's like one of the main villains in this series is this lieutenant named Surumi who has, like, his frontal lobe, like, blown off, so he has to wear, like, a plate over his head. And
he's got a big scar on his face.
Yeah, it's like, this motherfucker just, like, wears, like, stitched up skin of human skin on under his, like, uniform. He'll, like, bite fingers off.
Yeah, so Surumi, I don't want to spoil too much, but Surumi, one of the main antagonists in the series, is basically the leader of Unit 7. It's a little military branch, and they're playing behind the scenes, and they're on fuck-ass shit, like basically just straight up betraying the government, but still pretending to be good boys.
Yeah.
And, they have taken a strong interest in retrieving the Ainu gold as well. So they are trying to collect the prisoners and their skins, so if they have to, if you have to, you kill a guy and you skin him.
Yeah.
Which, oh my god. So I don't want to spoil too much, but I do want to talk about Henmi. So it's like episode 9, I think, of the first season of Golden Kamuy is the reason why it was bumped up in score for me. Because this episode is like this dude that dreams to have a strong will to survive. And, like, he wants to die fighting. So, long story short, he's one of the prisoners with the tattooed skins. And they're being chased down by Unit 7. And him and Sugimoto have a quick death match. And it's one of the most hilarious things I've seen in a while. Because Sugimoto, like, fucking stabs him, and then he starts orgasming. He's like, yes, kill me.
Yeah, and Sugimoto...
Will you always remember me? And Sugimoto goes, I'll remember you every time I look at the skin I'm about to rip off your body.
Yeah, it's like, just when you think it ends right there, a fucking killer whale just washes up to the shore, bites the Henmei, and just drags him into the ocean. And then they have to, like, get into a boat and, like, rush to get him back.
And the whale's, like, flipping him up in the air, and Sugimoto, like, gets naked and jumps in to save him. Oh, man. Like, they just wanted a skin. They didn't want to save him, but...
Yeah. It was, like... just the show's constantly just throwing all of these, like, hilarious scenes at you. Like, 1 minute it could just be, like, a really serious and somber, like, backstory, but then the very next minute they'll call, like, someone Dick Sensei, or just have some, like, insane, like, slapstick going on. Or they're like, fucking wrestling naked.
Yeah. I love the way this show plays out its emotions, because, like, it's so intense, but also really sad and hilarious overall. Like,
yeah.
The artist is fantastic at throwing in comedy. It doesn't feel like something that's dumb and satirical. Like, the comedy hits hard. At least it does for me.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious.
And I think it helps that it does make you really care a lot about the characters, along with, like, throwing them into these, like, hilarious moments.
And there was even a time while we were watching it that we were like, we still had tears on our face and we were busting up laughing.
Yeah.
Like, you know a show is good whenever shit like that is happening.
Yeah, it's like you just have, like, one of the other characters who starts out working with the 7th Division, but then later joins up with Sugimoto, where, you know, you see him at first and you don't think, oh, he's just a really, like, serious, honorable type of guy. He was just kind of there to, like, try to kill, like, the pet wolf that a Sherpa has. But then it's like he starts to get, like, stays in a Sherpa's village to get treated for, like, injuries, and he starts to grow really attached to, like, her grandmother and all the other villagers in it.
His backstory was fucked.
Yeah.
Too.
And it's like you learn about what he was like before he joined up the military and why he's where he is right now.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the backstories in this show are insane.
It was like, it's like all these, like, insane serial killers and cannibals going around, and I'm laughing at them because they're really funny, but it's also like I'm legitimately caring about them because the show is just, like, fleshing them out so well, and they stay around for so long.
Yeah, like, somebody, the crazy doctor, like, came out and, like, was acting similar to Sugimoto, and I don't want to spoil that, but, you know, they made a joke about the doctor eating some brains, and I laughed.
Yeah.
Like, how often are you gonna get me to laugh at a joke about eating human brain? But yeah, that would be terrible to spoil right there.
Yeah, and there's like there's so much like interplay and like just double crossing everybody, because like you essentially have like 4 different groups that are like searching all for the gold, and you just have all of them like either working together or conspirating against each other.
Yeah, like some people might be working together behind the scenes, but behind the scenes they're actually working for one of the other guys.
Yeah, or it's just like they decide to just like
randomly, they're just like, all right, nah, fuck this, I'm not rolling with this anymore. Which isn't really random. That's like what you would expect out of a person, you know, a real person.
Yeah, and so it's just like planting seeds to like make you distrust them or make you be a bit suspicious of everyone because of that. But it's like you're still so engaged with everything.
Dude, honestly, I'm so hurt by Ogata.
Yeah.
That man. Fuck. So, I think the only complaint I could ever see anyone making about the show is the egregious fucking terrible CG bears that are in the first season. The second season, the second core, I guess, episode 13 through 24, you don't really see the bears ever.
I mean, it's not even that the CG itself is bad, it's just the weird texture they use that makes them stick out a little too much compared to everything else.
And it never bothered me. It's such a minimal part of the show.
Yeah.
In the first episode, they are talking a lot about bears and like how they're gods and stuff, and I was like, oh, we're gonna be seeing these bears a lot. I was like, off the first episode, I wasn't immediately like in love with it, but I saw like, okay, this is something I think I'm really gonna like.
Yeah, but it's like they show the bears like so much and they still use that texture, so it's like it has to have been like intentional, like stylistic choice, because whenever you see like CG anywhere else, it's not like too noticeable or egregious.
Yeah, I want to get into the manga. I want to start it from the beginning.
And also, I would not recommend watching the show if you're like on an empty stomach, because there is so much fucking food in the show.
And somehow it looks good, even though they're describing what they're doing, and you're like, wow, that sounds fucking gross.
It's like they're eating like squirrel brains and intestines.
Or they just chop up a sea lion and they're like, here! And they just start eating it, and I'm like, oh, you're not gonna cook it?
Yeah.
Oh. But you know, I'm a fucking American, so.
Yeah, and it's like you learn, because of like being set with like Ainu culture and being like in the 1900s, like Japan.
1904.
Yeah, and it's like
that's when it starts.
you get to learn so much about like Ainu like culture or about like the time period in it. And I hear this because the author did have like an Ainu like instructor or specialist working on him, helping out get his like sources correct.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah, and later in like with season 3, they're in like Russian territory, so you get a lot of characters speaking Russian there.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the 3rd season. It's looking really good. And another thing that really interests me about the story is I was on the wiki. I was on the wiki page for Sugimoto, and I was reading like some trivia about him. And apparently, Saichi Sugimoto is the exact name that the author's great-grandfather had. And there is another war hero from around the time his grandfather was alive that was nicknamed the Immortal. So he's kind of fused this legend, and his great-grandfather was a war hero. So the thing that I read said, I don't really know. But apparently he was a war hero, and the author is just kind of mixing this crazy legend up. Like, he's writing this insane story about, like, a fictional version of his great-grandfather, and that's fucking tight, dude.
It's fan fiction of his own grandfather.
That's amazing. I love it. And normally, I think I would be weirded out knowing that a Sherpa's only like 11, but I don't. There's no sexual tension between her and Sugimoto. Like, he's a father figure.
Yeah, they mention like marriage here and there, but it's like they never really put any emphasis on it, and it's like they don't really like sexualize her or really like depict her in like a cute. Well, she's cute, but
they don't really sexualize too many characters in the show.
Well, they sexualize.
I take that back. The men.
Yeah, they sexualize the guys.
The men are extremely sexualized, and it's kind of refreshing to see.
Yeah, it's like they're like fucking naked and starting like sumo wrestling each other.
Yeah, when you get to that, you're gonna love it. Like, I know right now, as someone that maybe hasn't watched it before, you're like, okay, I'm out. Yeah. You made it sound really good till you started talking about the naked sumo wrestling and like the ripped abs and shit.
Yeah.
Just all the goofy shit that they do. Oh my god. Oh my god. I just remembered the butt cheek spread. Yeah, I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna leave it there. Like,
yeah.
You do not see booty hole, but there is a butt cheek spread at some point in the series, and it's amazing.
Yeah, but it's like if you want a series that's like super gay without actually being gay, then here you go.
If you want a series that's full of fantastic action sequences, that's gory but not always meaninglessly gory.
Yeah, you'll have like hands that are just completely blown off, or you have like body part.
But it's a super intense situation. It's just not like blood and guts flying everywhere because it's fucking Afro Samurai.
Yeah.
Which in some cases it could feel like that, but it's well balanced with the melancholy tone of the whole show.
But also like the comedy.
It's such a melting pot of like just every emotion constantly. And one episode feels like forever. So many things happen in it. It's like, crazy.
There'll be so many like fucking turns and like curveballs happening, and then you see like the title card that signals like it's only the halfway point, and you're like, what the fuck do you mean that was only half the episode?
Like the last episode, the 24th episode of the 2018 season.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that episode was so long, but it was regular sized.
Yeah.
You know, it's just so much stuff happens. And, like, your mouth is dropping wide open, and you're covering your face, like, oh my god, oh my god. So, needless to say, I love Golden Kamuy.
Yeah, it like, immediately bulldozed through, like, my favorites.
It's pretty up there. I gotta look at my list again, but right now I'm considering putting it in the teens.
Yeah. It's like, it just kind of baffles me that this series isn't any more like popular compared to like a lot of other seinen, you always hear like the greats like Berserk or Vinland Saga or Kingdom, but it's like you never really see people mention like Golden Kamuy.
I think Golden Kamuy deserves to be up there. Sorry, I got away from the mic a little bit. I think Golden Kamuy deserves to be up there with all the other great seinen manga, at least mentioned.
Like you never really see like big anti-tubers really like mentioning the series.
And what I have seen of the art from the manga, even from the first chapter, looked pretty good. It looked solid to me. And that's one thing that I thought might be the problem, is the art overall, because some of the character models do look a little weird. Like, Ogata does look weird as fuck.
Yeah, but that's just more just...
That's just part of, like, differentiating these characters. It's not like it's the same motherfucker with a different haircut and different colored eyes. They're not all pretty boys. Like, there's some ugly bastards in here.
Yeah, but at the same time, like...
They just have such different facial features.
But I also kind of feel like sometimes like off-model or janky parts of the show actually kind of help it to a weird extent. It's not even like so bad to the extent of like Kingdom's like first 2 seasons, like mostly season 1, to a lesser extent season 2.
Like I think the animation's pretty legit. It's just the bears that I didn't like. And welcome to season 3, baby. We got 2D bears.
Yep.
We did it.
Or even like Berserk 2016. You know, it's like, is it just because it's not from like a big name studio like WIT or MAPPA that people aren't really like super like interested or hype with it? Because like
studio hype's weird.
Yeah, even with like the CG. I mean, like Vinland Saga and some shitty CG in it too, and people still loved it.
Vinland Saga was very, very well received.
Yeah,
and for a good reason. It was solid,
and it was on like a more limited platform too. You know, it's like more people have like Funimation or Crunchy than they do Amazon Prime.
But that's crazy because Golden Kamuy it's on Crunchyroll and Funimation, and who's talking about it?
You know,
it just blows me away. Like, if I gave it a score out of 9 or out of 10, yeah. I was like, oh shit, I just said my number.
it's a 10 out of 9.
No, it's a 9 out of 10. I was debating like, oh, is it a 9.2? I don't know. It's a 9 for me for sure though.
Yeah, I really want to give like maybe season 2 a 10. It's like 9.5 for me right now.
Season 2 was solid. So yeah, like the overall show packaged, I would say like maybe a 9.5. If this 3rd season reaches the intensity that season 2 did, it's gonna blow me away.
Yeah.
Season 1 was a very, very beautiful setup for just tons of things to start coming together in season 2. And the prison escape arc was just fucking crazy. But I can't wait to continue to watch this weekly. It's now one of my most anticipated things I'm going to be watching every week. And I'm so happy that we got into it.
Yeah. It's like, I will be spreading the good word of our Lord and Savior.
Because I know, like, there's other shows that I was kind of thinking about checking out. Golden Kamuy wasn't even really on that list. We were just kind of like, why not?
Yeah, it was like...
It was really random. Like, we've been talking about watching Log Horizon for the past couple weeks.
Yeah, and it's because, you know, that's a pretty popular... It was, like, pretty popular and acclaimed, and it's getting a 3rd season, like, next month, or next year. So, you know, everyone was, like, kind of hyped for that. Or even just compared to, like, some of the other, like... classics that are like considered must-watches, but it's like you never really put Golden Kamuy in really like a classic or a must-watch as far as like the anime goes.
I haven't seen it. I mean, it did only come out 2 years ago, initially, the anime.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's definitely underrated. As far as like the widespread effect of anime and manga goes, I think it should be having a larger impact. I think it should be more popular.
Yeah.
But I do gotta say, even though it doesn't have a large number of people watching it, I can tell that the people that do watch it are very passionate about it. Because you see it's like pretty low in the leaderboards of this Mal's season as far as audience goes, but it's the second highest rated show of the season.
Yeah, you know, it's like beating out...
It's beating out Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
And everyone's hype about Jujutsu Kaisen. But one of the problems with Jujutsu Kaisen is there's a lot of normies checking it out because it's the next big hit. And they're just hearing all this buzz about it. And we're going to get to Jujutsu Kaisen because, like I said, I want to talk about the fall season overall and, like, the general state of anime.
Yeah, and it's, like, the only anime that, like, is rated higher than it this season's Haikyuu, which... You know, it's Haikyuu, that's not surprising.
Haikyuu, this season, is hype. Like, the stuff that was going on in this most recent episode was really intense. But I think it's just getting that default, like, 8, 9, 10 rating because it's Haikyuu.
Yeah.
Similar with Golden Kamuy, but Haikyuu just has a bigger audience. It's also probably a little more appealing and easy for people to get into because it's not full of heads getting blown off every episode and people clawed to death by bears and shit.
Yeah, and it has a much more, like, bigger studio.
Cutesy
like...
boys playing volleyball. I fucking love Haikyuu, though, and... You know, return listeners, you will know. We've talked about Haikyuu before on here.
Yeah.
I've said my piece. I love Haikyuu. It's not as close to my heart as Slam Dunk, but that's alright. I do think the anime is better quality than Slam Dunk's anime. I'll give it that.
Yeah.
So, for the fall season, what would you say are, like, your top 5 most hype shows right now?
Golden Kamuy and Jujutsu Kaisen, obviously. There's Wandering Witch, which is like, it's based off like a light novel. It's very similar to like Kino's Journey, where it's basically just about someone traveling to like different towns and countries and just kind of being an observer.
Is it like an episodic anthology similar to the Kino's Journey remake, or are you talking about the like 0403 Kino's Journey? I think that one was kind of anthology episodic like too, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're all like that.
Because Kino's Journey is a long series of books.
Yeah, it still annoys me that we don't have a proper translation for the light novels.
It'd be nice if they just, you know, ran through the stories as they released and just animated them like that instead of just giving us random stories from each book.
Yeah, there's a new Dragon Quest anime that is actually pretty good.
I kind of started it, but at the same time, I just felt like I was starting up like Mare or like Zatch Bell or something. Like it just felt like it was from that time, or like Monster Rancher.
Yeah, I mean it's based off a manga from like the late 80s and early 90s. So
yeah, it's totally got that feel. I was more interested in starting something else. I got like 5 minutes into the episode and I was like, Dark King, Young Hero.
Yeah, it's very much like a very retro, like nostalgic kind of show, but at the same time, it's kind of why I really like it. On top of like the animation being surprisingly really good for like Toei standards compared to
it did look pretty good from what I saw.
Compared to like Dragon Ball Super or even like the Digimon reboot. And there's also the Higarashi remake that's currently going on right now.
It's a remake?
Kinda. It still plays out very similar to how the original was, but it still throws in like a few curveballs or changes.
Okay, I've heard good things about Higarashi, but obviously I haven't watched it.
Yeah. I mean, the original anime has kind of a little shaky in parts, but there's a very like strong like foundation to it. I just kind of wish the production was a little better. Good old Dean quality. But in general, this is a pretty like solid season so far. There's a lot of like.
So what were your top 5? You got Golden Kamuy, Haikyuu,
Wandering Witch, Dragon Quest, and the Higarashi.
Okay.
And that's initially like there's like a lot. I think I'm watching like 14 shows.
Really? From this season?
Yeah.
You're going hard.
Yeah, it's like there's actually a lot of stuff that I really like, and it could change
I'm watching.
a lot.
Hold on, let me look at your phone. Alright. Uh-oh. I'm a boomer. Go to my anime list for a file.
Okay.
I'm gonna cheat instead of trying to remember. Alright, so on my anime list, I just hit 300 completed series. I am currently at 302. So by far of like fall currently airing things, I think my top 5, number 1 thing that I'm most hyped for now is Golden Kamuy. I'm sorry, Jujutsu Kaisen. You were number 1, but I binged 26 episodes of Golden Kamuy in like 3 days, and now I'm fucking hooked.
Yeah.
I already know what's going to happen in Jujutsu Kaisen because I've gotten up to chapter 80 in the manga.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to see it. I'm really excited for the adaptation. I don't think we even have to say much about it. It's fantastic so far. It's everything you wanted out of it. It even adds in the atmosphere that you don't really get out of the manga sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of. I mean, it's still like basically a horror like action show.
Yeah, so mine are Golden Kamuy, and then Jujutsu Kaisen, and then Haikyuu, and then coming out of nowhere, my number 4 is The Day I Became God, by the writer of Angel Beats and Clanad. And it's looking like something that's probably gonna make me really sad. It's probably gonna make me cry, break my heart a little bit. I said that about Kakushigoto, and I kind of got that a little bit, but like a huge relief when I like found out the ending. So I'm looking forward to seeing the end of this anime, because the premise is this random middle school boy is like working on his high school entrance exams. It's like his last summer before high school, and this, I don't know how younger she is, but a younger girl dressed in a crazy colonial outfit comes up to him and declares that she's God, and she gives him the power, her power. Either way, she like does a bunch of predictions, they all come true, and I don't know if it's luck, but I don't know if she actually has power. Is she just crazy? Like, it's just really enjoyable so far. It's really cute, and the world is supposed to end in 30 days, and they're doing a countdown at the end of each episode. So by episode 2, 6 days have passed. There's 24 days until the end of the world, and I'm looking forward to seeing the end of that show. I really hope that it delivers. The writer has a good track record, so.
What was your number 5?
My number 5, I'm gonna give it to Yashahime.
Oh.
And that's pretty much off nostalgia. I mean, I am interested in the 3 girls. I'm excited for it. It's playing a lot of the old Inuyasha OSTs, and it's totally just got that Inuyasha feel. Like, it looks like something that was made in the 2000s, but a little more cleaned up.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying it so far. I was really wondering if I should make Akudama Drive my number 5. Nah, I'm just joking.
Yeah, I mean,
Akudama Drive's all right. The animation is beautiful. It does have like a really cool atmosphere, but they didn't really try too hard with, like, the characters have names, but they just call them, like, Hacker, and here's Brawler, and Swindler. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, it's very Danganronpa, like inspired. It's almost like they have the same creator.
Weird.
Yeah, but it's like, this is a pretty, like, solid season so far. There's a lot of, like, pretty good shows airing, especially when you compare it to, like, the summer season, where it's just very, like, dry and kind of, yeah.
The summer season kind of broke me, I'm gonna be honest. Like,
Yeah,
so I don't know how many people listen to this that are subscribed to the YouTube channel. I think I'm gonna start putting these up on the YouTube channel as well.
For content.
But, so in June, a dude that I had grown up with had gotten murdered, and that affected me a lot more than I thought it had. It really pushed me to just go out and make myself a better person and, like, fucking take what I need, you know? So now I'm a manager where I work. I got a lot more responsibilities. Plus, the COVID-19, like, shutdown was still messing with my work hours. And people were quitting, so I was working a ton of hours. Our computer crashed, and the anime season sucked.
Yeah, it was...
So there was just a lot of things that kind of made me burn out, and I was just not inspired. I was like, what is life right now? I gotta get my shit together a little bit and, like, take a minute to get back into my groove. Yeah. And it's not like the world's getting any better right now. It's way worse than it was in April, May, June, July. But I have hope. I look forward to getting through these crazy times and being able to talk about it with our kids. And I can't wait to watch compilation videos of all the terrible things Donald Trump said and did, and, like, videos of him dancing. Like, it's gonna be a time. Yeah. This is a fucking time, bro.
I was generally just feeling burnout during, like, the summer season, because, like, I'm watching the summer shows, and I'm also watching, like, the spring stuff that got delayed. So it was just
some
like,
of it got delayed, and it wasn't even that good.
Yeah, it was just, like, a lot of mediocre stuff, where it's like, you know, you have, like, God of High School just kind of being, like, one of the most disappointing things ever.
So overhyped.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if anyone listening to this just loved God of High School, but I wasn't about it. I didn't even finish it. I'm gonna be honest. I dropped it at, like, episode 5 or 6.
And it was, like, my favorite show that season was, like, Rent a Girlfriend, and it's like, you know...
Rent a Girlfriend was solid, though. Yeah. That was solid. Like, and I was super interested in all the not all the characters.
All the characters, and then there's...
I want to take it back. I think I gave Rent a Girlfriend an 8, and if that's the best show of the season, it's just an 8?
Yeah.
That wasn't a very good season.
And to be fair, I didn't watch, like, ReZero Season 2, or,
Oh, baby! That is the savior!
Or Snafu.
The savior of the summer season was ReZero. I had not watched ReZero last time we made a podcast episode, but now I have seen the light. I am part of the ReZero cult. And, Echidna waifu, best girl. I'm just gonna leave that there.
Yeah, but it's like now, you know, all that's over with. You know, we have a fresh fall season going on, and I'm actually starting to really enjoy the shows. I don't know if it's because of the actual quality of it, or maybe I'm just kind of... my standards are so low now.
Or you're just refreshed.
Yeah.
Like, I personally almost completely stopped watching anime for almost a month. And just... I don't know, I was playing games.
Yeah. But it's like...
playing lots of Overwatch.
There's, like, a lot of very solid stuff now. And even the stuff that's, like, not too great, I can at least say it's, you know, a nice, like, casual watch.
Like the Gymnast Samurai?
Yeah.
Surprisingly, very, very good. I'm enjoying it. Like,
there's also, like,
I want to see my man succeed.
There's also, like, Talentless Nana and, By the Grace of the Gods, which is like a pretty bland, run-of-the-mill isekai, but it's pretty harmless in general.
Yeah, I've basically already talked about all the shows I'm watching that are airing this season. I am still watching Fire Force, but that's just because I'm waiting for the English dub episodes to come out.
Yeah.
And I do plan on finishing Decadence. I'm on episode 8, I think. I'm around there.
Yeah.
And I'm getting more into it as it goes. Like, funny enough, it steps away from the game Decadence, and you're getting more of what's going on with the little chibi robots in the prison, and I'm like, oh, this is badass. I like this way more than the like actual Decadence game.
Yeah, and it's like there's still some delays, unfortunately. Like To Your Eternity was supposed to air.
I know, so sad. That
like
would have meant that would have blew the fall season away. Like, this fall season is actually still probably one of the like most top tier seasons of the past couple years, because we got all of these solid amazing anime coming out. We got Golden Kamuy season 3, Haikyuu's continuing, Jujutsu Kaisen's blown up, all these other things we've talked about. And then later, technically in this season, because the winter season doesn't start yet by then, Attack on Titan's final season is going to start. And so is ReZero's second season. It's going to continue.
Yeah, they're starting in like December, which is still technically part of fall, even though it's mostly going to be airing in winter.
Yeah, for real. But you can still technically count it as fall, and that makes this fall season pretty legendary. Because for, people that are fans of ReZero, I feel like this whole first half of the second season was build up. It was a whole build-up arc, and it was amazing character arc for Subaru. Really, 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 really can't wait to see what's about to happen next. I'm not desperate enough to read light novels or whatever, though. So, ReZero is gonna blow my socks off. Fucking Attack on Titan is going to be amazing. And if this is the final season, that means they're gonna be adapting everything that's happening even now in the manga, and I feel like the pacing's gonna be off unless they have like a 37 episode season,
Yeah, there's gonna be
because there's so much material that they have to adapt. There's like I want to say there's like 35 chapters to adapt.
Unless they do like a weird split core like what season 3 did. But
Attack on Titan season 3 part 2.
Yeah, but even then, that was only like 24 episodes or 22.
I think if they did maybe 28, 29 episodes, they could squeeze everything in. But it really depends on how much longer Isayama's going to drag the story out, because it really feels like it's coming to a climax.
I'm wondering if that's why it's starting in like December, just to kind of offset an odd like episode count.
I was so certain that Attack on Titan was going to end this year. Like, especially around the beginning of the year, it was already looking like Endgame.
Yeah.
And just the way that a lot of events kind of come back around full circle, just kind of cements Attack on Titan as like one of my favorite series of all time. And it's basically just off the stuff that's happening right now in the manga. Otherwise, I'd probably leave the series overall at like an 8. Like, pretty good, but like average good.
And we still don't really have like any confirmed return date for Kingdom Season 2.
Yes, we do. You mean Season 3?
Oh, yeah.
Kingdom Season 3 is coming back March 2021.
Oh.
Yes, it's just resuming where it left off, but 1 year later.
Yeah.
So that's disappointing, but I can't wait to get my Kingdom on. Some of y'all may know I am a big Kingdom fanboy. I love my seinens. So if there's anything to take away from this episode, it's don't be sleeping on the anime that are coming out this season. I mean, there are some to sleep on.
Yeah.
Like
obviously.
Assault Lily Bouquet. I made it through like half an episode and I said, fuck this. I also started IWGP. I think that's what the abbreviation is. It's like Ikeboro West Park or something. I don't know. Definitely West Park at the end.
Or it's like,
I'm hearing a lot of really good things about the source material, so I think I should probably get through that first episode at least. I think a second episode came out.
or I'm standing on a million lives.
Yeah, I considered watching that too.
That seemed like it's probably going to be trying to be a little too like dark and edgy.
I mean, that's kind of what I thought with Gleipnir, but I ended up falling in love with Gleipnir, and it was my favorite of... Was that last season?
It's spring.
It was spring? Summer season just didn't exist. It's just, what was the summer season? Besides ReZero.
It was spring season part 2.
Pretty much. Spring part 2.
Yeah, I'll just like pull it up.
What?
And just spring. The spring.
Oh, spring? Fire Force started in spring, didn't it?
Yeah.
I've really been enjoying Fire Force.
It's like Sword Art Online, Alicization, which like not gonna try to shit on any SAO fans that are still there. But
I hear Alicization gets really good though. And I personally rewatched, like, I watched like half of Sword Art 2 and I rewatched it recently and I liked it a lot more than I remembered. Even though there was some stuff that like made me laugh or I just thought, wow, that was dumb. It was still okay. I mean, I think I gave it a 5 or a 6 on Mal, but you know, it was okay. It wasn't like terrible.
you have fucking Peter Grill right here, and then you have Jibby 8 just at a straight 4.
Yeah, Jibby 8's like one of the lowest rated series of all time, isn't it?
Maybe not all time, but probably pretty like low down there.
It's pretty down there.
Yeah, it was like hilariously bad for like the first half of what we saw, but then it's like, you know, I have so little to like live for as is. I don't think I want to spend the rest of it watching this, so I just like dropped it.
Well, first of all, I want to say that what you just said was sad.
Yeah.
You have a lot to live for. You just got to get out there and start doing shit that you want to do.
Yeah.
Not just strolling through everyday life like, I'm going to work, now I'm going home, and I'll watch people stream games.
Yeah.
You know, you got to start doing some shit that you want to do, man.
Yeah. And
Take them steps.
I will. Once we get like the computer fixed, or we get something, or we just like buy a new one, I'm just gonna like hunker down and do stuff that I've had planned, but I've just never gotten around to.
I'll believe it when I see it.
No, I will.
I don't want to peer pressure you or like get onto you because it's your thing, but you totally should do it.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a fun creative outlet for you. Well, anyway, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap this episode up. Watch the fall season. Please read or watch Golden Kamuy. I can't testify to how great the manga is, but I'm gonna go ahead and assume it's fucking amazing.
Yeah. It's on Crunchyroll, subtitled. It's on the English dubs on Funimation. You give that if you want to. It's pretty solid.
And if you don't watch your anime legally, you know where to find it. So, that is all. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sticking around. If you happen to, do you have any closing statements, Zane?
I just want to really say, like, sorry for taking, like, a month off. And it's been pretty rough for the past, like, 2 months.
No, we good, fam.
Yeah.
Everyone understands. There's no reason to apologize.
But I'm still, like, someone who's tries to be, like, optimistic and hopefully hope for like the world and everything else getting better.
Yeah, I'm feeling good seeing like the general online, like, it's easy to get disheartened when we live in a small town in Missouri and they just threw a fucking Trump parade today. And like a good 200-300 cars just drove through town to be a big fucking nuisance to everyone with Trump flags and American flags hanging off their cars, dragging on the ground. I want to add, these American flags were dragging on the ground. And their cars are covered in stupid bumper stickers, and it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
They're just big Trump fans, and it's fucking embarrassing. And I don't want to throw too much politics into our anime podcast, because who the fuck are we? Like, we're just some dumbasses from a small town in Missouri, but...
We're a bunch of country pumpkins.
I don't like Donald Trump. I don't fuck with him at all. I don't have a problem initially with conservatives, even though they have very terrible opinions. I'm really disappointed with the way Donald Trump is just like, the Republicans have doubled down on all of his craziness.
Yeah.
And people, I feel like that like Donald Trump, they're not even really politically involved. They're just fans. And they don't realize that he doesn't care about you. You know, you're a poor, lower income person from Missouri. You're a flyover state to him. Like, he's making millions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. Like, this whole presidential stunt has pretty much just been to get him a bigger ego and make him more money in the long run.
And to avoid going to jail for all the, like, debt fraud that he's committed.
Possibly.
Yeah.
For now.
But it's like, it's very easy to, like, just get disheartened and just kind of feel like, you know, what's even the point of what I'm doing? I mean, why am I even trying to do this? But you always have to remember you're not alone. There's like millions of people who feel the same way that you do, and that there's always going to be, like, good happening in this world.
There's the loud minority of people that are just screaming into the void stupid redneck, like, Trump-loving rhetoric.
Yeah.
And, like, that's just because they're insecure, and, you know, the people that are upset about something are going to be the loudest about it. You tend to observe a lot more negative opinions than positive or moderate, you know?
Yeah. So just always, like, strive to be, like, the best you, and do whatever you can. Do as much, like, good and whatever, as, you know, even just doing, like, a simple thank you to, like, a cashier at, like, at a Dollar General, or, like, at a convenience store.
Or tip your pizza boy, even if they didn't deliver your pizza.
Yeah.
I love it.
You know, just even something like that can, you know, raise someone's, like, mood.
Also, get out there and vote. I'm gonna say it for these next couple episodes up until this insane election.
Yeah. If you can
vote.
If you can vote early, do it.
Yeah, do not fear the bullshit that they're trying to say about, like, ballot fraud and, oh, what if it gets lost in the mail? Would you mail yourself a check or like $1,000 cash, and would you just put that through the mail? No, because you're worried it'll get lost. But those people are dumb because they don't know that, you know, there's a system set up for the ballots that you can basically track them.
And they're the ones...
Like your UPS packages and everything. You know, you're getting on there every day. When are my earrings gonna get here? Well, you can track your package.
Yeah.
And you can track your ballot.
And they're, like, the least likely to suddenly get kicked off, like, registration rolls or be denied the right to vote. But it's like, vote early if you live in a state that lets it. You know, vote absentee if you don't feel like you're safe enough to vote in person, or if you don't really trust that, then vote in person whenever you can.
I personally am going to go vote in person because we live in a small town and I've never waited in a long line to vote. I have a feeling that this election is going to be a little different.
Yeah, and it's like,
but we'll see.
I'll crawl through, like, glass and hot rock just to, like, vote.
Damn, intense.
You know, I don't care whatever, like, fucking assholes are just, like, like patrolling around like voter rolls and like fucking guns, trying to like intimidate people.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
You know, in this town, maybe you might have
I don't know.
You might have like a couple idiots.
I'm definitely anxious to see what the next couple of weeks are going to bring us, because let's be honest, it's not just the fate of gay rights and
Abortion.
Abortion. It's not just like race relations going to shit. The whole world pretty much is at stake, I think, in this next election. Man, we went on this political tangent a lot longer than I thought we were going to.
Yeah.
We were like closing up the episode like, bye-bye, talk at you again next time, and now we're talking politics. And I'm not cutting it out. I'm not cutting anything out. I'm lazy. But also, if anyone was wondering if I have a political opinion, it's that Donald Trump sucks and everyone should be treated equally and have fair opportunity. Not some straight up communist shit like, I don't know. I'm not trying, like, I'm not running for president here. I don't need to explain everything to you guys. But just know, I don't fuck with Donald Trump, and I'm going to leave it at that. Anyways, let's close this episode out now.
Okay, so do you have any ideas of what you're wanting to do for the next episode?
God damn it, Zane.
Sorry.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Do you? Do
No.
you? Do you got something?
I wish. I mean, I guess we'll just do whatever we feel like. Just hope we won't have to wait like a month to do it.
No, that's not happening. I'm back, baby. I'm back. I'll do episodes by myself. You don't think I can? You don't think I can do episodes by myself, Zane?
Well, maybe do it better than I could.
I mean, I don't know. Anyway, next episode is going to be a solo episode with just me. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right, I'll talk at you guys next week by myself without Zane. Just kidding. He's going to be there. All right, bye.